I swear by the soil of our fathers, if you had seen Halima during that season, you'd understand why even the birds stopped mid-flight just to look at her. She was the daughter of Baba Nura, the tailor of Kafin Zaki, a small village nestled by the banks of the shallow Zaki River. We were no city people, just ordinary folk with millet fields, stubborn goats, and midday heat that could melt the soles of your sandals. Halima was not just beautiful, that is too shallow a word. She had a gentleness in her, the kind that made elders pause before scolding, and a clever tongue that could make a market woman forget her anger over short change. She grew up watching her father stitch buba tops and kaftans in his tiny mud shop beside the mosque, and by the time she was 13, she was already tracing chalk outlines on cloth faster than most grown men. I was her father's apprentice. My name is Musa, son of Danjuma the carpenter. I joined Baba Nura's shop when I was barely tall enough to hold the iron properly. Baba Nura didn't say much, but he believed in craft. A tailor who cut in anger will always stitch regret, he once told me after I ruined a customer's aboda. Halima was kind to me. She would sometimes bring Kunan aya to the shop when the sun got too hot, or help me rethread a stubborn needle when my fingers refused to obey. But I never fooled myself, she was far above my level. Not because of pride, no. Halima was humble. But there was something in her gait, her speech, her eyes, something that told you she was meant for more. That was the year Yahya, son of Alhaji Bola, returned from Kaduna. Yahya had been away at school, some business college with English name and certificates. His return shook our village like thunder. He came with shoes that shone like boiled yam skin, wristwatches that ticked louder than a cock's crow, and a car that left a trail of dust like a small whirlwind. The women noticed him first. Then the fathers. Then the chief's daughter. He wore a border stitched from foreign brocade and gave out money like he had a tree planted behind his father's compound. He spoke Hausa with an accent that tried too hard to sound like Lagos. I didn't trust him from the start. The day he came to Baba Nura's shop, I was fixing the hem of a woman's wrapper. He leaned against the doorway like he owned it. "So this is the famous tailor's place," he said, looking around like he expected magic to come out of the walls. Baba Nura nodded politely. "You are welcome." Then Yahya's eyes settled on Halima. That was it. From that moment, it was as if the boy had found a new business project. Flowers began to arrive, roses, orchids, all wrapped in papers from the city. The next week, new fabric, lace from Dubai, they said. Then came the offers. "Let her come with me to Kaduna," he said to Baba Nura one evening, sitting cross-legged like a prince. "She can study fashion design properly. I will sponsor her. Let her learn with machines that work with computers." The entire village buzzed with the news. Some praised his generosity. Others whispered, but Baba Nura said no. "She is still learning," he said. "And we have not discussed marriage." Yahya smiled, not kindly. "I'm not talking about marriage yet, Baba. I'm talking about opportunity. I saw Halima that night. She was sitting by the riverbank, her legs in the water. I don't know if she saw me, but she was crying, quietly, like someone who didn't want God to hear. After that, things changed. Halima stopped bringing Kunan aya to the shop. She became quieter. She stitched less. Yahya didn't stop, he kept coming, each time with something louder: perfumes, phones, fabric, talk of a shop in Kaduna. Then one evening, during Maghrib prayers, it happened. Yahya stood before the village elders and declared his intention to marry Halima. "She will not suffer," he said. "She will live in comfort. She will have staff, a car. I will not stop her from her tailoring." The elders murmured. Some clapped. Some frowned. Baba Nura did not smile. "I will ask her," he said simply. When he did, Halima didn't speak immediately. Then she said, "I do not love him, Baba. But he is offering you the world." Someone said, "I don't remember who." "I don't want his world," she replied. "I want the one I'm building here." And that was the start of the storm. Yahya did not take rejection well. The flowers stopped. The smiles disappeared. Rumors began to spread. that Halima was stubborn, ungrateful, even bewitched. One morning, Baba Nora's shop was found burned, not the whole building, just the fabrics. Just enough to ruin his business. He said nothing. Just sat on a stool and watched the ashes fall from his hands. That same day, Yahya left for Kaduna, but 2 weeks later, Halima fell ill. It started with fever, then weakness. We thought it was malaria, then typhoid, then something worse. Her mother cried to every herbalist, every imam, every nurse. Some said it was heartbreak. Others said spiritual attack. I watched Baba Nura sit beside her mat night after night, wiping her face with wet cloth. He never wept. Not once. But you could see it, the breaking. Then, one Friday morning, as the muezzin called for prayer, Halima opened her eyes and whispered, "Needle, bring my needle." It was the first time she'd spoken in 5 days. By sunset, she was sitting up, stitching a torn wrapper. The shop was rebuilt, slowly, with help from neighbors, apprentices, even some of Yahya's old friends who no longer spoke his name. Halima didn't go to Kaduna, and she never accepted another suitor in a fine car. But 2 years later, she opened her own workshop near the market, small, neat, filled with thread and piece. I still work with her, and sometimes, when a new girl brings cloth and starts boasting of Lagos boys and shiny watches, Halima smiles and says, "The best fabric isn't always the loudest."